Peace to the family. Again, peace to the family. Today, I'm going to chat a little bit in a reaction video to something that I saw here on YouTube from a brother out of the United Kingdom, London. Thanks to Mr. London Plumber. Big up to yourself, brother. The video that you did on the difference between Caribbean and African rivalry, I found it to be a very thoughtful and insightful video. So first of all, I want to say thanks to that brother. I thought it was a very thoughtful and good video because myself, being an African American, it's been a debate for a few years. We got African Americans going in on African Caribbeans, African Americans going in on Africans, continental Africans going in on Caribbeans, Caribbeans going in on continental Africans, Caribbean Americans going in on Caribbeans, and as he would also add to that, British Caribbeans and how they looked at when they go back to the Caribbean. And as always on my channel, I view things from the lens of Mr. Neely Fuller's United Compensatory Code, a textbook of thought, speech, and action for victims of white supremacy, racism, white supremacy. All right. And the major quote out of that is, you know, if you don't understand racism, white supremacy, then everything else you think that you understand will only confuse you more. Okay, so the brother, he goes in, and this brother, he's seeking understanding. From my understanding, the brother is from Caribbean extract, Barbados, to be exact. And as an African American, there is a hidden history between the Bayesian people, Barbados, and North Carolinians, South Carolinians, and also in colonial America, up to Boston. So that's a secret history that exists between African Americans and our Bayesian cousins. And I also, through the grapevine, I actually saw that there is a city in Barbados named after Accra, Ghana, right? So that's probably showing a cross connection between Accra and Barbados. Okay, so this brother was thoughtfully examining how we as African people who've been spread throughout the diaspora view each other. And the first thing he said was in terms of food. But let me backtrack real quick, because I was listening to an interview from the eminent scholar Theophile Obenga, right? And Theophile Obenga was in Burkina Faso with Thomas Sankara and Maya Angelou at some sort of conference. But the point that I'm getting at is Theophile Obenga, he said that great minds are inviting. Let me find the exact quote. He said, great minds have welcoming spirits, right? But this brother, Mr. Plumber, he was talking about Africans and Caribbeans treating one another like brothers and sisters, treating our mothers as mothers and sisters and aunties, right? So the first thing he was talking about was the notion that African people eat with their hands, right? We all eat with our hands, you know. In Africa, it's a bit different. I'm going to self-disclose. I lived in Cote d'Ivoire for, 6 or 7 years, maybe a little longer. Visited Africa extensively, but I'm an African American. But I feel I want to kind of put my opinion in here as well. I've only come across British black people a couple times in my life. Once visiting Accra, Ghana, and there was a classmate of mine that was black British, Brother Errol. But back to eating with your hands. I got experience with that because when I went to Cote d'Ivoire, what we would say might be their national dish is a dish called garba and a cheke, right? It's what people generally eat every morning. It's fried tuna and a cheke, which is made out of cassava. Right, when I first got there, I would eat my garba and a cheke with a spoon. And from 8 to 80, everybody would claim that the garba tastes better when you eat it with your hands. All right. And with my colleagues, I worked there as a ESL professor. We had a garba party. A garba party, basically everybody stands up and we have a big plate of garba, of a cheke and tuna, fried tuna, with Q-Magi, a little Q-Magi, which is debatable. Some have Q-Magi, some do not. Other times you have Aramat, which is a type of mayonnaise, a brand name of mayonnaise. But everybody eats with their hands. And I wasn't so good with eating with my hands at this time, but I did it, you know. And, you know, I learned to eat with my hands. I don't know if it tastes any better, but the Ivorians, they swear that it does. But I've also heard Thai people say that food tastes better with your hands. But okay. Even in the American South, everybody will tell you that it's a thing called sopping. S-O-P-P-I-N-G. Either you mash up your cornbread and eat it with your hands with some collard greens, or, a biscuit, not a cookie, but a buttermilk biscuit, and you might use it and to clean your plate with it and eat with your hands. So African people, wherever they are in the world, we eat with our hands, period. To the extent that we eat with our hands varies a little bit. But anyways, the brother went on to talk about a big point, a major point, and it was absolutely brilliant that he made, is that we don't study geography. When we think of the Caribbean, most people will only think of Jamaica. They don't think of Haiti. They don't think of Montserrat, Antigua, Trinidad and Tobago, the Bahamas, the individual different islands in those island families, Cuba, Puerto Rico, Haiti. Everybody think of Caribbean, they think of Jamaica. We love Jamaica. It's cool, A lot of Jamaicans have made it, big and broad in all areas of people activity in the United States, in Europe. So people see Jamaica and they don't think of the other ones, but that's because we don't study geography, right? When some people will be believing that Africa is one country, when it's actually a continent with 54 different countries. Fact check me on that, 53, 54. It could possibly be 55 if you include Western Sahara as a country. But me personally, I had just thought about geography, and I'm separated from my daughter at this moment, my wife and my daughter, due to immigration issues. But that's one thing that I learned real young. I learned about geography, and to this day, geography would be one of my favorite subjects, right? I remember when I was little learning the capitals of every country in the world, each capital in each country, okay? So the brother also was talking about visiting Africa and seeing the Caribbean, right? He was talking about visiting places like, popular tourist attractions such as Nelson Mandela's cell at Robben Island. And he talked about the mysticism, the mystery of seeing these places, the energy. He spoke on the energy in these places, right? And I would liken that to visiting Cape Coast, Ghana, the forts built by the Portuguese where Africans was dispersed into the New World, quote unquote New World. The same in Senegal with the La Maison d'Esclave Gorée Island. And these places, they definitely hold an energy in them, a mystical energy that Africans, we feel it. Who feels it knows it. And you will feel it when you go to these places. It's just like I'm pretty sure that there are places in the Caribbean that you feel it. You feel that plantation. It's the same thing in the American South. You can feel the souls of black folks there, which is a seminal book by W.E.B. Du Bois, right? But this brother, man, he was basically talking about us getting together as family, us not looking down on each other when we see all those Africans over there, or those Jamaicans and those Caribbeans, right? I'm blessed because I'm from the city of Atlanta, and it's a black mecca of people, right? Just in my everyday runnings, within the last week, I've come across brothers with businesses from Haiti, brothers from Nigeria. I was in a local store, gas station. A brother from, it's on the tip of my tongue. We were speaking Bambara. This guy's from Guinea Conakry, right? Another sister in the grocery store, Guinea Conakry. A sister from Gambia. The grocery store. Two brothers from Niger, right? And when I see these people, it's another thing that the brother eloquently pointed out. It's a head nod. Like, I see you, brother. I welcome you, brother. You in my heart, brother. We, no beef, nothing, no pressure here. And that's how the news travels, right? I failed to mention the brothers from Burkina Faso, right? which is, the man of the hour is Captain Ibrahim Traoré, right? So I asked these brothers, Mauritania, what's going on in Mauritania? And I'm blessed by that. I feel privileged. And part of it, I've come to understand that it's the universe is mental. You will attract to you what you are. I'm an African, so I attract African people to me in my everyday life. And to the degree of how it is in my life, and I'll say that specifically because the universe is mental, right? I got a 95-year-old Jamaican neighbor. This man was the first person to integrate, which is an all-black neighborhood now. The man is 95 years old, full of wisdom and knowledge. A couple weeks ago, I was out, and we were just all out together up under the tree, African Americans and the brother from Jamaica, right? All in love, all in brotherhood. He's our elder, 95 years old, man. Looks like he's about 70, fit. And, we pray to get that age, right? But the brother was also talking about he, as a Bayesian man, when he goes back to his home country, he's looked at like he's British, and he doesn't, he been gone for so long that he's not what his bloodline indicate to him. But he he also spoke about him getting his lessons in Caribbean manhood from his uncles and his father and other Caribbean men in his vicinity, right? That's the intergenerational transmission of knowledge, right? Which is a very important thing, right? So, one more thing. I was speaking about places with energy. Here in Atlanta, Georgia, one of the greatest Africans, the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, the first provincial president of Africa. He was sentenced and he served his time before being deported from the port of New Orleans. From the port of New Orleans, but at the USP in Atlanta, you can feel that energy. You can feel that energy, and you could think about Brother Marcus serving his time there at that facility, right? So indeed, those places, and in Africa they hold that energy, right? Okay. And another thing, it was talking about foods. I remember when I was in Cote d'Ivoire, my wife would always want me to give her recipes. So one recipe that I shared with her was curry chicken, right? Another one I shared with her was jerk chicken, right? Then barbecue chicken, which was, an American thing, but it came from Africa, right? And it's a big thing in Africa who has the best jollof rice, right? Whether it's the Senegalese, whether it's the Nigerians, whether it's the Ghanaians. I haven't had the Nigerian jollof, so I'm going to hold back, but I'm going to tell you, they get down with it in Ghana, and they definitely started that cheb in Senegal. So I've had two of the big three, right? And Guinea had a lady from Guinea make me some jollof. She get down with it, and she's the one that helped my wife. My wife is lives in Cote d'Ivoire, but she's a Milan. She's a mixture of a Malian and a Burkinabe person, right? But even that jollof rice, you know, when African Americans, there's a place in Atlanta, I big them up, give them a little advertisement. Le Nouveau Maquis, Le Nouveau Maquis, Le Nouveau Maquis. Everybody from miles around, they hear about this place and they come and get that jollof rice. It's a brother from Togo, that's the proprietor. But again, I'm a pan-Africanist by nature. I'm an African by blood and by culture. And I was very pleased to see this brother hashing out some of these feelings that we have about one another on YouTube. I hope to further continue this discussion in a meaningful way, because with all this social media, we got a bunch of these people out here that are acting a plumb fool and disrespecting each other because he's Caribbean and that this person is African and this person is African American. I've heard so many disparaging things coming out the mouths of some African Americans towards Caribbeans and Africans, and I've heard some disparaging things coming out of Africans' mouths against African Americans, all on these social media platforms. And I'm gonna close, but I'm gonna say, when I was a university student, man, my favorite teachers were Nigerian professors, Dr. Mary Moboso, Dr. Nkem Nwanko, Nigerian Igbo man, Iwe. Dr. Moboso was a Iwe sister. Dr. Wosini Yefru's Ethiopian professor. Dr. Mana Nabella was South African, right? That's just to name a few. Dr. Ojo. You know, I've had so many wonderful African teachers and African American teachers. That's not even to talk about some of my professors from different climes, different races or whatever. But the university is a universe of people. You see, my love of a lot of Jamaican people come from my father being a plumber and working for a Jamaican man who had a plumbing company here in Atlanta. So we did a lot of plumbing for Jamaican people, different island people, right? And I met island people, from dark African island people to people that could pass for white. You understand what I'm saying? So what I'm saying, learn to love instead of hate, right? Learn to love instead of hate. Understand racism and white supremacy is the reason that they try to divide us. Colonialism, this is the reason that they try to divide us. Let us come together as one, as one united people, right? And with that, I say peace. Like, subscribe, share the video. Know that you got a brother in the United States that don't have nothing but love for you. Ain't no hate here, you know what I'm saying? The whole world belonged to the original man. Original man being the black man, came from the loins of a black woman. Peace.